Welcome to the unit on the binomial expansion. In this unit, we will be looking at key concepts through review exercises. The objectives for this session are to review previous topics through exercises, namely expanding brackets, simplifying expressions raised to positive and negative integers, and simplifying expressions raised to positive and negative fractions. Pause the video and have a go at these review exercises. When you are ready to view the solutions, press play. In order to find the product of two expressions inside brackets, you must multiply each term in one expression by each term in the other. So let's take a look at review exercise 1a first. Expand the expression 3x minus y all cubed. Let's solve this. We're going to rewrite 3x minus y all cubed as 3x minus y times 3x minus y squared. We will now focus exclusively for the next few slides on 3x minus y all squared, which is re-expressed as 3x minus y times 3x minus y. And when we expand this, we obtain 3x times 3x, which is 9x squared, 3x times minus y times 3x, and minus y times minus y, which is plus y squared. We can now tidy up, so 3x times minus y times 3x becomes minus 6xy, and 9x squared plus y squared is left as it is. Now let's multiply this expression by 3x minus y. So 3x times 9x squared, 3x times minus 6xy, 3x times y squared, and now for the minus y. So minus y times 9x squared, minus y times minus 6xy, and minus y times y squared becomes minus y cubed. And then tidying up gives us 27x cubed minus 18x squared y plus 3xy squared, which is left as it is, minus 9x squared y plus 6xy squared, and minus y cubed. And tidying up further, we can collect together the minus 18x squared y and minus 9x squared y to give minus 27x squared y. And similarly, we can add together 3xy squared and 6xy squared to give 9xy squared. And we leave 27x cubed and minus y cubed as they are. Now let's have a go at review exercise 1b. Expand the expression 3 plus x all cubed. Again, we adopt a very similar approach. So we're going to expand 3 plus x times 3 plus x at the end first, to give us 3 times 3, which is 9, 3 times x, 3 times x, and x squared. And tidying up gives us 3x plus 3x is 6x. And now let's start multiplying out again. So 3 times 9 is 27, 3 times 6x is 18x, 3x squared, 9x, 6x squared, and x cubed. We can now tidy up. So 18x plus 9x is 27x, and 3x squared plus 6x squared is 9x squared. And finally, we reorder so that the highest power of x comes first. So we have x cubed plus 9x squared plus 27x plus 27. And now for review exercise 1c. We're going to expand x minus y all squared to give x squared minus x times y minus y times x plus y squared. And tidying up, we leave the x squared as it is. Minus xy minus yx gives us minus 2xy, and we leave y squared as it is. Before moving on to exercise 2, pause the video and have a look at the laws of indices shown on your screen. We're going to use these to solve our next exercises. So let's solve review exercise 2a. We're asked to simplify minus 2a all cubed. Using the last power, we have minus 2a all cubed is minus 2 raised to the power 3 times a to the power 3. As shown. And minus 2 cubed is of course minus 8. So we have minus 8a cubed. And now for review exercise 2b. Simplify 3b to the power minus 4. Again, we use the last law on the screen to help us with this exercise. So 3b all raised to the power minus 4 is 3 to the power minus 4 times b to the power minus 4. And then tidying up gives us that 3 to the power minus 4 is 1 over 3 to the 4, which is 1 over 81. And so overall we have 1 over 81 times b to the minus 4. Now for review exercise 2c. Simplify 2/5 c all squared. Again, we use the last law to give us 2/5 squared times c squared. And then multiplying out the numerator and the denominator gives us 2 squared over 5 squared. And we leave c squared as it is, which of course becomes 4 over 25 times c squared. Now for review exercise 2d. Simplify the expression shown on your screen. Solve the first part of the equation using the law highlighted. Now use the highlighted law to simplify d cubed to the power 4 to give d to the power 3 times 4, which is 12. Now use this highlighted law to simplify d to the power 12 divided by d to the power 3. We subtract the indices to give d to the power 12 minus 3, which gives d to the power 9. Now 5 to the power 4 gives 625, so we have 625 multiplied by d to the power of 9. We're now going to use some more laws of indices in the next exercise, in addition to the previous laws that we've already looked at. Let's begin with review exercise 3a. We're going to simplify x to the power 5 all raised to the power 3 over 5. This gives us x to the power 5 times 3 over 5. And cancelling out the 5's gives us x cubed. Now for review exercise 3b. We're going to simplify the cube root of 8x to the power 12. This can be expressed as 8x to the power 12 all raised to the power 1 over 3 by using the law highlighted on your screen. And using one of the previous laws, we can rewrite this as 8 to the power 1/3 times x to the 12 raised to the power 1/3, which is cube root of 8 times x to the power 12 times 1/3. And tidying up gives us cube root of 8 is of course 2, and x to the power 12 times a third is x to the power 4, to give us 2x to the power 4. Now let's take a look at review exercise 4a. Suppose y equals 1 over 125 times x cubed. Express y to the 1/3 in the form cx to the power m, where c and m are constants. So let's find out what y to the 1/3 looks like. We substitute y equals 1 over 125 times x cubed as shown in the expression, and then rewrite this expression as 1 over 125 to the power 1/3 times x cubed to the power 1/3. This can be rewritten as 1 over the cube root of 125 times x, because x to the power 3, all raised to the power 1/3, is equal to x raised to the power 3 times a third, which is x raised to the power 1. 1 over 125 cube rooted simplifies to 1 over 5, and of course we leave the x as it is. So our final solution is 1 over 5 times x. Now let's solve review exercise 4b. Suppose that y equals 1 over 125 times x cubed. Express 5y raised to the power minus 1 in the form cx to the power m, where c and m are constants. Again, let's rewrite 5y to the power minus 1 to give us 5 times 1 over 125 times x cubed raised to the power minus 1, as shown. We can rewrite this as 1 over 125 raised to the power minus 1 times x cubed raised to the minus 1. And all this is, of course, multiplied by 5. So tidying up gives us 5 times 125 times x to the power minus 3. And tidying up some more gives us 625 times x to the minus 3, as shown. This brings us to the end of this session. If you have understood its contents, you should be able to expand brackets, simplify expressions raised to positive and negative integers, and simplify expressions raised to positive and negative fractions. Thank you very much for listening.